Hey, welcome to my channel. Changing a person. This has got to be the most widely asked question, hasn't it, for any coach? How do I change a specific person? How do I change my ex's feelings? How do I change this person's feelings, my mum's feelings, my sister's feelings, my brother's feelings? Okay, something has to change inside of you in order for you to see a change on the outside. I think it's impossible to see anything change on the outside whilst you're still the same inside. But let me tell you how seemingly insignificant that change can be on the inside. I'm going to link to a video that I made, God knows how long ago, and it's probably a little bit cringe for me, so I'm not going to watch it again, but I am going to link to it for you, how I changed a person's feelings overnight, who was adamant that the relationship we were having, which you know, looking back on it was nothing serious, but it was a big deal to me at the time. And overnight, I changed the way that he felt, but I didn't know what I was doing. So this is what happened. So you would say, well, what could happen within you overnight? And this is as insignificant as this would seem. Okay, so I'm walking back, we were on holiday, and I was walking back to the chalet with my friend, and I had this overwhelming feeling that I wished he would feel the same as me. I wished he would feel the same as me, but I had no expectation of that happening because I didn't know this was a thing. But I really felt the wish, I wish, you know, like you do sometimes. But then within me was a release of, but it's over, just got to accept it's over. Because back in the day, I used to have a problem accepting things. Before I sort of got really into this, I wouldn't want to accept things. So I think, no, I want this, I want that, but in the wrong kind of way, you know. But I did, I just thought no, because I hardly knew him at the end of the day. So I just let that feeling go. So how had I changed? I wasn't holding on to it. I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't constantly desperate for it and wanting it. That had gone. I accepted it was over. I was absolutely gutted. Like, I'm not kidding you. I was so gutted because I liked him so much. So I had all that going. I was upset, I was hurt, and all that stuff. But I thought, it's done. So that was the change inside of me that affected the change on the outside. I'm not going to go on about that because I've already made that video, but do have a look at it. And so then the change in him was incredible, to the point where he felt more so than I did. It was really incredible, and that happened overnight. Okay, so what could that change be? It could be a dramatic change in you. It could be a change where you suddenly start feeling really magnetic. That's a change. Whether you have let it go, you think, oh, stuff it, can't do this anymore, that's a change. Whether you suddenly start getting in with the feeling of them feeling differently about you, that's a change. A change is something different than you feel now. So whatever you feel now is not going to affect a change on the outside, because it is, I think it's impossible. From what I know about energy and energy exchange and stuff, I do think it's impossible. Now, is it relevant that that person in your life is stubborn? No. Is it relevant that they are inconsiderate? No. Is it relevant that they are seeing someone else at the moment? No. None of that stuff is relevant, because it's all based on what's going on inside of you, and it doesn't matter what's going on the outside, which is why circumstances don't matter. Because if circumstances had mattered, I would not be still in my marriage. Because I'm not going to go on about that again, because I don't like to go on about that on YouTube, because out of respect to Jeremy, but it is on my members area if you want to go and have a look there. It is free to sign up, and that video is a free one, so you can have a look at that. It wouldn't be going on, it wouldn't be happening. And again, it's something changed in me overnight. Well, in a day, something changed. My feelings changed, the way I was handling things, and then he changed in the same day, on that evening. It was crazy, absolutely crazy, and he's never gone back. So something changed within me in order to see the change on the outside. If you don't change something on the inside, so don't try and change something on the inside. That's the thing. If you try too hard, it won't change. You can make an instruction to your higher self, which is my favorite thing in the world to do when I want anything. So I just talk to myself. I sometimes call it God, sometimes call it source energy, sometimes call it the universe. Rarely call it the universe, to be honest, but sometimes call it higher self. Doesn't matter. It's the same thing. It's whatever this is to you. And you just tell it something. You make an instruction. You say, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I'd like to have some sort of release, like some sort of shift within me. I don't mind what it is, as long as it's good for me. So you don't say, I want to feel magnetic, I want to do this, I want to do that. You just leave it and then you've done it. You don't try any harder than that. I wouldn't say you affirm for it, because if you affirm for it, you bring your rational mind into the equation, and that is not useful apart from making one simple instruction. Otherwise, it starts overthinking, it starts feeling resistant, it starts this, it starts that. Don't bring it into it. Honestly, you don't need to. So something changes within you, something changes on the outside, and it is irrelevant what you believe that person to be. completely, because once something shifts inside of you, it's like that, what that person is does become completely irrelevant to you. So something changes. Again, we make assumptions about people, we create people's personalities to us, because I can think about a person that I perhaps think this and think that about that isn't particularly positive, but I can think about somebody else that knows them that feels completely differently about them. So we do create, and what generally happens is something happens. So something happens in our relationship which kicks off that energy, which kicks off that feeling of the sort of person they are within us, and then we start to see more evidence of that person that we've made up. So it becomes more of a solid fact within us that that's the type of person they are, but really they're not. Just think of them as a blank canvas. Something happened and you built up that energy, you built up that character of them for you, and they will be a different character to somebody else. They might not be hugely different, but they will be different. They won't be the same. So hence they won't react the same to that person that they react to you. Let's bring in another example. So you've split up with somebody and they were a certain way to you, and they behaved a certain way towards you, so that's them. Now you see them with somebody else and you think, well, they're not behaving like that with that person, they're doing this, they're doing that. Why are they behaving differently? They must prefer that person to me, they must love that person more. No, that person just sees them differently. They have a different version of them going on, so they're reacting differently to that energy. I mean, look, don't mix too much up with this, and don't think, well, you can't believe this if you believe that, and you can't think this if you think that. This is so complex on one hand. I know it's simple on one hand, but in another respect, our pea brains are not designed to be able to deal with what's really going on here. So don't think you can't think one thing if you think another because it contradicts. It really doesn't matter. If you don't think it contradicts, if you don't care if it contradicts, it won't make a jot of difference. It's all about you and what's going on inside of you. I'm going to stop there. Don't want to overcomplicate this. Thanks for watching. My books are all listed below. I am an author. I also offer coaching. Pop along to my website. It's not kind of evident if you go to my homepage that I am a coach, but it is on the menu and you can see my coaching there, and you can book that up online, or you can talk to me first, whatever suits. And that's it. Thanks for watching.